right, welcome back to another episode of the Unfinished TBR. I'm Hannah.
I'm Allie.
I'm Casey.
And today is another debrief. I feel a little weird because it's like middle of the month. We're filming this on May 17th.
Yeah, we're a little behind.
We had to get the mothers in first.
Yeah. The mothers took priority, obviously. But I still am extremely bottled up. I feel like a preacher that hasn't had to preach in about 3 weeks.
So my dad.
Nice.
Every time we come back from vacation, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a long one.
So we are back with another reading debrief. We are back on schedule, so definitely worth being a little off schedule though. Our moms were fabulous.
They were precious.
Yes, every single one was unique, and it was just perfect. Go back and
I'll cherish those, even if nobody else cared for it. That is like, I'm glad we have that on camera.
Oh yeah,
I do too.
For sure.
I'm very glad.
Anybody else, if you've never like interviewed your own mom and recorded it, do it.
Do
it's
it.
adorable.
You don't
Unless
even
there's
need
like extreme trauma. Don't do that.
or do it to help her get it off of her chest. I don't know.
Again,
I
I've
don't
been
know.
in between you two.
Again, maybe bring a therapist along.
All right. So, what are we currently reading, ladies?
I'm currently reading on Kindle The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea.
Yes. Oh my
It's
gosh.
taking me a little bit to get into it. I'm pushing through.
Yes,
though.
push
I am
through.
pushing through. I do like the premise of it so far.
Yes. How far are you? Like
I'm on the
chapter-wise?
3rd chapter.
Okay. Yeah, you're still early
I just
on
met
then.
the 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're gonna love it.
Okay.
You're gonna love it. Oh.
I do like it. I do like it so
The
far.
vibes.
It's just the vibes are immaculate.
I
The vibes
love
are
it.
very immaculate.
Yes, and it just gets better.
Yes. And I am finally finishing Onyx Storm. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Have you finished it?
How close are you?
I have 2.5 hours left.
Okay.
I think you know what part I just got through.
Oh God.
Yep.
Oh no.
Well, that makes me feel better because I was going to tell you all I'm still reading Onyx Storm. I'm about 50%, maybe a little more than 50% through.
Nice.
But if you had both finished it, I was going to allow tons of spoilers because that's just rude. I went an entire month. But if you're not done, now Hannah has to keep it bottled.
Yeah,
It's 2 against 1.
I'm still bottled, but I saved those videos, so I'm ready. It's locked and loaded.
I'll probably be sending you a video later
Heck
because I
yes.
just got done with a very, very traumatic part.
Send me the video. Yeah. Send me the video.
She's going to cry. Oh my God.
Like on the way here, it's been like revelation after revelation, and like
Yes.
every time I get in the car, it's something new, and I'm like, I'm just gonna stop.
Are you
driving.
listening to it?
Yes.
Maybe I should switch. I'm trying to read
I got it
physical.
immediately. I got it immediately on Libby.
And it wasn't a skip the line?
Pausing this. I have more I'm still reading, so come back to me in a
It
second.
wasn't a skip. The first time it was a skip the line loan. This time it was not.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow. That's surprising. That's very surprising. What are you seeing right now?
Now, I do
Several
have,
months.
Yeah, I do have a Knox County library card on top.
You little cheater.
I used
need
to
to
have
get
like
Becky
4
to just
different
sign you all
ones.
up.
Yeah, you
I'll
should.
I'll pay.
Hey Becky, give a little please for the camera.
Hey, Justin.
Please.
If you want to interview without Allie being here, get your wife to let us have Knoxville
Jake.
library cards.
You know what?
And we'll boot her immediately.
All my in-laws do want to know when Justin is coming on the pod.
So this is your incentive. Get us those library cards. And you got yourself a deal.
Jake, one time I was over at the house and Jake was like, Allie, when are you gonna let the big man on the pod? And I said, when he learns how to read.
Love it. All right. So what else are you reading?
I'm reading Onyx Storm, and I'm also trying to read The Truths We Hold: An American Journey, Kamala Harris's memoir.
I could not get through it.
Why?
I think it got too not political. That's not the word I'm thinking of. It went too far into how do I like the stuff she did how do I say this?
I've got to say, I act like I'm like loving it or something. And I don't know if it's just I'm in a reading slump because I'm not finishing Onyx Storm.
Right.
And I'm frozen on this one.
Right.
I've been reading both of these Onyx Storm since March 26th, and this one since April 6th.
Onyx Storm is harder.
I think I'm just in a slump, but I'm also not I'm not a political discussing kind of person.
Right.
And I want it to be more
beliefs.
informed, and I feel like it's just not my favorite topic, and I need to push myself through it.
Yes.
But it's definitely going to be harder because it's out of my comfort zone. It's not my fantasy. It's not my romances.
Right. Yeah.
This is a lot of real life, and I hated history as a kid. So
I tried listening to it in
tough.
December, and I am a Kamala supporter, so I thought that it would be great, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And by Kamala supporter, I mean I didn't like the other person. I didn't like any other option.
All right. So,
anyways,
I am still working on Good Wives. Shut up. Leave me alone.
Shut up.
I'm going to the beach. I am.
But
when
Good
this
Wives-
airs,
Good Wives isn't a beach read.
I'm going to read it.
Okay.
it's a book I'm going to read
It's a
on the
book,
beach, so it's now
yeah.
a beach read.
So this is airing. When this airs, I will be on the beach. So I'm
And I will be
finishing
there the
it.
week after.
I'm finishing it. So shut up. Don't come at me. And then electronic version on Kindle, I am reading Code Red by Taylor Cantrell, who is the author that we interviewed on day 2 of the Knoxville Book Festival.
Oh.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes. Thank you, Taylor. And I did go back and re-listen to how to pronounce her name so that I made sure to say it correctly. So, Taylor, I'm reading your book. So, we will be hollering at you before too long.
Hollering.
Holla.
All right, so let's get into the month, shall we? Is it me first? Amigo?
It ain't me, I can tell you that much.
All right, so I started the month off with Forgive Me, Leonard, Peacock by Matthew Quick. I listened on Libby on April 1st. Even at and I want to say this while I'm looking at this now. I read 10 books this month, but I feel like most of them were very quick reads.
Yeah.
A lot of them were very short. Plus, I have now gotten comfortable on 2 times speed. So
Okay.
that helps get through them as well. So I listened to this one at 2 times speed. I finished it in 3.5 hours. Pretty crazy, but it was about 5:30 in the morning when I started, and very early on. And I tried to find the exact quote so I could write it down correctly. But there was this quote that almost made me cry. I don't know if it was where it was super early in the morning or if it just hit me really hard. But the quote was something like, 20 years seems like a long time, I know, but it's going to pass by so quickly.
Don't say that to me.
And I absolutely, like, I wanted to just pull over and cry for a little bit after
You're
that.
gonna miss this.
The worst.
You're gonna want this back.
With the dramatic country accent.
Yes,
Yes.
it has to be that.
The worst quote I've ever heard that breaks my heart, shatters it in a million pieces, is always, the days are long but the years are short.
Oh,
They are.
Yeah, is it not?
yes.
2 years with my son has flown by.
Yes.
But I tell you, yesterday drug.
So this book was extremely thought-provoking. I loved that it had me thinking about everything from how I presented myself to other people to just like how I view homework. Even like it was crazy. He had to do this. Oh my gosh, I haven't read the synopsis. What the heck? Okay, so here's the synopsis since I wasn't prepared enough. Okay. Today is Leonard Peacock's birthday. It is also the day he hides a gun in his backpack. Because today is the day he will kill his former best friend and then himself with his grandfather's P-38 pistol. But first, he must say goodbye to the 4 people who matter most to him. His Humphrey Bogart-obsessed next-door neighbor, Walt, his classmate, Babak, a violin virtuoso, Lauren, the Christian homeschooler he has a crush on, and Harris Silverman, who teaches the high school class on the Holocaust. Speaking to each in turn, Leonard slowly reveals his secrets as the hours tick by and the moment of truth approaches. In this riveting look at a day in the life of a disturbed teenage boy, acclaimed author Matthew Quick unflinchingly examines the impossible choices that must be made and the light in us all that never goes out. So, yeah, I mean, he's planning on killing this guy and then himself, which is extremely heavy. It's an extremely tough topic, and it really does make you think about everything. But he at one point he didn't do his homework the night before, obviously, because he's got this plan to I
wouldn't do my homework either, I guess.
He's done at the end of the day. So he didn't do his homework, and he like the teacher was like, why didn't you do that? Like kept him after class, and it was a paper on Hamlet. He's obsessed with Hamlet. And she was like, I know you love Hamlet. Why didn't you write this paper? And he was like, what's the point of writing the paper? The point of the assignment is that you know that we read the book. You already know I read the book. You know I can have any level of discussion on this book because of how obsessed I am. What's the point of doing the homework? And I was like, he's not wrong.
It's for the state and for administration.
He's not wrong. And he did this thing.
Not the teachers. It's not for us. Sorry, I'm mad.
Yeah, you got on a teacher kick. So he, one of the things that he's done in preparation of this day, well, that kind of drove him to this day. He was wanting, he chose random days where he put on the one suit that he's got that his dad gave him. And he takes a briefcase, an empty briefcase, and gets on the train and just follows people on the subway and just looks at people. And he's yelling at them in his mind to because they look so miserable. He's like, all of these adults look so miserable. What's the point of growing older if I'm just going to be stuck like them and not be happy and everything? Obviously, this was a really tough month to be reading this. With my own personal decisions on jobs and stuff, like it was like that was another thing that just like it was dagger to the heart, you know. And he was like, what is the point of growing up? And that's one of the things that led him to there's no point, so I'm just gonna, you know, yeah.
I'm sorry, kid, I just have RBF. I'm happy underneath it. This is just my neutral face.
And he said he would just spend all day on the train looking for that one person that had a little bit of light to him, that seemed to know, you know, where the happiness was. And he could find no one. And that's so sad. So yeah, it made me really introspective and like, okay, so how am I presenting myself to make people see the light, you know, the reason for living and stuff. So yeah, very, very thought-provoking. But the last chapter ruined it. The last chapter was awful.
It doesn't give the answer, but life doesn't give you the answer either.
I mean, that's true. Still, I felt like I needed just a little bit more.
Yeah,
just like
you want the ending.
Yeah, I wanted to pull just a little bit more out of it, and it just you know the coyote in Roadrunner, that the painted wall, and he like runs straight into it. Yeah, that's how it felt.
You're like, yeah,
look at everything ahead of me. Just kidding, you know.
Yeah,
splat. Yeah, it was. I wasn't a fan of that. So the ending kind of ruined it for me. It would have been 5 stars if it wasn't for that ending. I gave it 3 as it was.
I might have to read this one just to make myself cry, I guess.
I did cry. That's why it would have been a 5-star. Like, it gave me all the feelings, and it was so...
5-star tears.
So deep. Yes. 5-star tears, 3-star with the ending. But that also might be a personal thing. Anybody who has read it, drop a comment down below if I'm just not understanding. Mm-hmm. Because I'm sure we're having this through the screen conversation about the ending, and you're trying to scream at me about what it's about. So drop a comment down below.
Their publisher was like, "We got to get this book out," and he's like,
that's exactly how it felt. Like it felt like it could have gone just a couple more chapters more, just a couple, if nothing else, than to see his other friends that he said goodbye to one more time and see what their reactions were and stuff. Like I don't know. Maybe that.
I think it's hilarious. This is already on my want to read list on Goodreads because I was going to add it.
Oh, Well, I think you added it after the quote because I Snapchatted you guys after that quote from the early bit, and I was like,
yeah,
I'm right.
I'm crying.
Surprise! It's over a book again. So yes, 3 out of 5. It's a 3.87 overall. It is on Libby, but the cheapest is $8.99 on Kindle. Except whenever I pulled it up on Goodreads just then, it said $2.99 on Kindle. So maybe check it right now, and maybe it's $2.99.
And if you live locally, it's available on Libby right now. But I'm taking one of them. There's 2 left.
Yeah, get on it. Okay, so who's next? Is it me still? Sorry. Okay, so the next one was Once Upon a Broken Heart. This one took the cake for favorite of the month. Okay. This was my favorite of the month. It is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. It is very much young adult. I would have ate this up in high school. Ate it like, give me seconds. You know what I'm saying? It was so good. Highly recommend this for everybody, because I mean, I enjoyed it now as a 28-year-old, but I guess when this airs, I'm going to be 29.
Oh my gosh. 29.
17, 29. She reads the same books.
Honestly, yes. So no matter your age, I think everybody can enjoy this book. It was just so good. So let me pull up the synopsis. Okay, how far would you go for happily ever after? For as long as she can remember, Evangeline, not Evangelina, from Assistant to the Villain. Evangeline Fox has believed in true love and happy endings until she learns that the love of her life will marry another. Desperate to stop the wedding and to heal her wounded heart, Evangeline strikes a deal with the charismatic but wicked Prince of Hearts. In exchange for his help, he asks for 3 kisses to be given at the time and place of his choosing. But after Evangeline's first promised kiss, she learns that bargaining with an immortal is a dangerous game and that the Prince of Hearts wants far more from her than she's pledged. He has plans for Evangeline, plans that will either end in the greatest happily ever after or the most exquisite tragedy. Let me tell you right now, Jax is him.
If you're thinking of Vanderpump Rules, no, he's not. He's not.
I can promise you I'm not. Never seen an episode.
You should.
I listened on Libby from April 1st to April 2nd. With it being something that I would have read in high school, it gave me the same feeling as back in the day, back in, I think it was October Reading Debrief. I read a book called Only a Monster by Vanessa Lynn. And I said the same thing about that one. I would have ate it up in high school. This one was even better than that. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was so good. You can tell it's for young adults, but it's a well-done YA series. I would be one of the ones completely willing to kiss Jax, even knowing his kiss would kill me. I know me. I would kiss him. I would die. It would happen.
At least you're self-aware.
Yeah, I'm very self-aware. That would be the best way to go, I feel like. Because Jax was... wow. And the fact that she couldn't kiss him was like... whew. Because, I mean, they got dang close. She thought about it.
So how do you not think about X-Men?
It's
I've never seen it.
So yeah, same. It is so much yearning. If you want a yearning book, this series is it. The entire series is it. Yes. So, oh yeah, I definitely would have kissed him after the vampire scene. That would have been like, if I would have made it that far, that would have been the cutoff. Like, it would have happened then. If it didn't happen sooner, probably would have happened sooner. I don't know, but that would have been the end result after the vampire scene. Like, it was amazing. I gave it 4 out of 5. It's a 4.06 overall. That's a pretty good rating.
Yeah, that's really
Yes. It is Libby, but it's $9.99 on Kindle.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so who's next?
The One by John Mars. This is my first John Mars book.
What else has he written?
There's a lot of stuff on Kindle Unlimited that he's read. I tried to read Keep It in the Family by John Mars.
You've talked about that one, haven't you?
I've not read it. Well, I tried to read it. I'm 18% of the way through, and it just
okay.
This is my first John Mars book, and I really enjoyed it. It made me want to read more John Mars.
Gotcha.
I'll go ahead and read the synopsis. How far would you go to find the one? Which, if you play back to about 5 minutes ago, it sounds very similar to the beginning.
Very similar. Wow.
Okay. A simple DNA test is all it takes. Just a quick mouth swab, and soon you'll be matched with your perfect partner.
Very different.
The one you're genetically made for.
Oh, yes, you did talk about this one just briefly.
Yes.
Us in the car.
Yes. Toward the Huntsville Book Festival.
Yes.
Okay. That's the promise made by Match Your DNA. A decade ago, the company announced that they found the gene that pairs each of us with our soulmate. Since then, millions of people around the world have been matched, but the discovery has its downsides. Test results have led to the breakup of countless relationships and upended the traditional ideas of dating, romance, and love. Now, 5 very different people have received the notification that they've been matched. They're each about to meet their one true love. But happily ever after isn't guaranteed for everyone, because even soulmates have secrets, and some are more shocking than others. It's a fascinating novel that shows how even the simplest discoveries can have complicated consequences. Very good. 5 different perspectives. I would highly suggest listening to this. I listened to it on Spotify.
Okay.
So if you pay for Spotify, you get 15 free listening hours a month.
Right.
Last month was one of the months that I maybe paid for extra hours because I listened to a lot on Spotify on April.
I gotcha.
So, highly suggest it. It's very good. I would say that this is probably my favorite for April.
Really?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I liked the different perspectives. Right. Again, with the different narrators, it was very, very good.
I like that a lot.
And I liked how it was almost like yes, it was thriller, but it was almost like romance was like the overlay.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. It wasn't specifically. It actually didn't focus on that. Even given the premise, you would think that that would be the main focus. Okay. Yeah.
It was very good.
It was like a blanket on top of the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it. So I would give it. I would give it a 4-star because I don't think it deserves a 3-star. I think if anything, it deserves a 3.5. So if we're gonna round up,
right,
4. So
okay,
very good. I would highly recommend, and I want to read more John Mars.
Hey, that's good to know. I think I'm gonna go ahead and add that one to mine.
Again, if you have Spotify, if you're already paying for Spotify with no ads, might as well. You know.
All right, who's next?
Hannah, none of this is true.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I finally got my Libby hold for None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell, which you have spoken very highly of.
I loved it.
You loved it, yes. We've read the synopsis for this one twice now, actually, so I'm not going to read the synopsis, but it is with the Birthday Twin podcast and everything like that. I listened on Libby from April 3rd to April 9th. Did you listen or did you physically read? I feel like you would know this one.
I think you physically read.
I Kindle read it.
Okay.
I Kindle read it because I was like, why do I know what the chapter headers look like? Yeah,
yes.
I Kindle read it.
So, and the reason I ask is because, and the reason I know if it had been the audio book, you would have answered right off the bat, is because during the sections where they are interviewing other people to talk about this person, I'm trying to think of an example. In one, it's a couple, that she gave her dog to. And the audio, they are sitting in a coffee shop, and you can hear the surrounding customers and stuff. And the interviewer is quieter. His questions are quieter than the people answering.
like
so
that.
it's like it's like he's got a mic to him, and this is kind of the difference.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Honestly, an interesting take. You know how much I like having the dramatic.
That's very immersive.
Yes, I love a good immersive audiobook. I will preach until the day I die. Bring back radio dramas, and these are the closest. Books like this are the closest to radio dramas that we have in the modern age. So love that. I don't have much to say without spoiling the book, but I will say that Josie is a raging narcissist.
For sure.
Narcissist.
For sure.
I believe she's completely made up a story in her mind of how things actually went, and she firmly believes it. And that, in her own mind, that justifies all of her actions that she did throughout the entire book. But she is a raging narcissist. So, I can't give too much away without spoiling the book. But it is, I gave it 3 out of 5. It's a 4.1 overall. I listened to it on Libby. Audible is technically the cheapest. If you use a credit, it's the absolute cheapest option.
Yeah.
Without a credit, it's $13.64. So obviously that's just use a credit. And then $13.99 on Kindle. So
this book intimidates me because I was talking to you about this on the way to the festival. I have never. I love true crime, but I hate unsolved mysteries because I'm like I need to know.
Right.
Like, give me a definitive answer.
Yeah.
and
You can't, and like you've talked about how there's really not.
None of this is true.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
it's left up to the reader.
Yeah.
to decide
what do you think
who's
really
really
happened?
That's why in Verity, like I think Verity is an exception to the rule.
Okay.
Because like I feel like it is so obvious what the true answer is.
Okay.
That
But if it's any more gray than what Verity is, then it's like, but what happened?
Yeah.
Like, maybe
Right.
that's why
Especially
I
when
didn't
you
like Forgive
have-
Me, Leonard Peacock. That one.
yeah. See, that would drive me crazy.
Yeah.
I'd be like, what was the entire point of me reading that book?
I basically just
You ruined it.
I basically just like opened that scab up by talking about Forgive Me, Leonard Peacock, because now I'm mad again.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Because this one, you definitely have to question, do you have an unreliable narrator?
Yes.
And how many of the narrators, because you get more than one perspective, are telling the truth?
Yeah.
Because she's clearly a narcissist.
Yes.
But narcissism is always based on sprinkling the truth throughout it.
Exactly.
So which parts were truths?
Yeah.
Right.
And you can't fully get your answer.
So you're next, Allie. What you got?
People We Meet on Vacation
Another one
by
I read.
Emily Henry. So you have read
Yes.
this one?
Yes,
So
yes.
we have read the description.
Yes.
Did I read this on here?
Yes,
was it for the game?
I think it was part of the game.
Did I put it in the game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But also,
'Cause
I
I don't
thought it
remember.
was
I've
something
read
to
it.
do with like they met in a taxi. Because it did
that
not.
not
No.
No.
Okay, so maybe read the...
Okay.
Because even if she did do it in the game, that's the one where she redacted names
Yeah, I
and stuff.
redacted stuff. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So that way you couldn't tell because I paired it with another one. So I might have paired it with somebody in a taxi.
Right.
Now I gotta know what I've rated it.
Yeah, I'm very curious on your thoughts. So
Okay.
let's hear it. Let's hear the description.
Says 2 best friends, 10 summer trips, one last chance to fall in love. Poppy and Alex and Poppy. They have nothing in common. She's a wild child. He wears khakis. She has insatiable wanderlust. He prefers to stay home with a book. And somehow, ever since a fateful car share home from college many years ago, they are the very best of friends. For most of the year, they live far apart. She's in New York City and he's in their small hometown. But every summer, for a decade, they have taken one glorious week of vacation together. Until 2 years ago, when they ruined everything. They haven't spoken since. Poppy has everything she should want, but she's stuck in a rut. When someone asks when she was last truly happy, she knows without a doubt it was on that ill-fated final trip with Alex. And so she decides to convince her best friend to take one more vacation together, lay everything on the table, make it all right. Miraculously, he agrees. Now she has a week to fix everything. If only she can get around the one big truth that has always stood quietly in the middle of their seemingly perfect relationship. What could possibly go wrong? I think you did read this, and whenever it said ride share, I just automatically replaced it with taxi.
Right. So, I gotcha. Yeah,
but it was really carpooling.
Okay.
So,
Gotcha.
I really liked this book as far as Emily Henry books go, because I have another one coming up. As far as Emily Henry books go, Funny Story is still on top.
Gotcha.
This is second. The next one is third. Not to say that the next one is not good, because it is still good. But as far as
if you have to rank them,
yes. If I had to put them on a list,
yes, yes.
But I think it's because me and Emily Henry have to have the same sense of humor, because
I gotcha.
It's like no one has been able to like touch that funny bone like she does. She is a very good writer when it comes to rom-com.
I gotcha. Yeah,
there's romance, but there's a lot of comedy, and it's really good. Wasn't as big of a fan on the love interest as I was on Funny Story. I think I just started out at such a high that it's hard to meet up. Have you read Funny Story?
I've not read Funny Story.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This might be a good time for me to insert my funny story about Funny Story, because I think it was around this same time anyway.
Okay.
I got a skip the line loan.
Okay.
On Funny Story.
Yeah.
And I was so excited.
Right.
I was like, yes, get it. I borrowed it. It only gave me 7 days.
Yeah.
Did you forget about it?
I didn't have time in that 7 days.
Do you pay for
7 days.
Spotify?
No.
You don't pay for Spotify.
So I had to miss out on the skip the line loan of Funny Story, and I was so mad. So I'm back on the list. But yeah,
at least it does put you back on the list.
Yes, I am back on the list. So anyway, continue.
I think that's really all I have to say about it.
What did you rate it?
I'd still rate it a 4.
Okay.
I think Emily Henry just is. I'd like to meet her. If you could have lunch with anyone dead or alive, I would pick Emily Henry.
Nice.
I think we'd have a good time.
Right. Since you guys have the same humor.
I'm excited to read Beach Read. Mm-hmm. And she's got a new one coming out. So I'm excited to read that.
Oh, what's
when
that
does
one
it come
called?
out?
Do you know?
I think it's already out. Great Big Beautiful Life.
Okay.
It is on Reese's book club, Reese Witherspoon.
Nice.
And it is rated the same exact 4.4 as Funny Story, which is 4.4. People We Meet on Vacation is rated a 4.3 overall.
Whoa, mine says 3.85.
Is it on Goodreads or Amazon?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's People We Meet on Vacation.
People We Meet on Vacation got a 4.3 on Amazon.
Okay.
I'm on Goodreads.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did give People We Meet on Vacation a 5-star when I read it initially.
Nice.
Looking back, it probably was closer to like a 4.
It's just,
but
okay.
You know what? I gave it a 5 in the beginning. You get a 5. You get to stay there.
Right.
Now,
wait till you read Funny Story.
Then you might have to adjust.
I'm not gonna go.
I won't renege on a 5.
Right.
Funny Story to compare it to.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I just came off of that high.
Yeah. Literally just came off
Yeah.
that. You just read it last
in
month.
March.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
crazy. But now you're on an Emily Henry kick. Look
Yeah.
at you.
Yeah.
You're basically an addict now.
yeah. Still, people compare Abby Jimenez and Emily Henry.
Mm-hmm.
they're very different.
They are very different.
So why
I
do they
do not
compare?
like Abby Jimenez. I have tried with Abby Jimenez.
Can you give me what'd she write again?
Just for the Summer? The Spanish Love Deception.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah. I like
okay.
them both, but they're different things entirely.
Okay.
I wouldn't put them in the same. They're in the same genre, but they're not in the same like type of the genre.
See,
Subgenre?
Abby Jimenez,
Yeah.
I feel, is so cheesy. Like,
Yes.
she says things, and I'm like, oh.
Yes.
Versus
really-
Emily Henry is like so real life,
So
but
really,
funny on top of it.
Maybe Abby Jimenez and Tessa Bailey should be.
I think so because I'm scared to
together.
try
Yes.
Tessa Bailey.
She's a lot
She
more
can
cheesy.
be. She can be a little cheesy.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel
Emily
like though
Henry
if
is
you're
so real
wanting,
life.
if you like cheesy sometimes,
Right,
every
right.
now and then I want a cheesy romance.
Yes.
If I'm flying on a plane, I want cheesy.
Yeah.
Give me something
I
stupid.
can just
Elsie
get
Silver.
through.
Yeah.
and,
But
Elsie
you know,
Silver.
I
For
gotcha.
Me. Yeah.
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 All right. So.
Ta-da.
All right. So, I read Three Women by Lisa Taddeo. Taddeo. I bet that's how it's. I bet
Yeah,
that
that looks like
sounds more
Taddeo.
right. So
Today.
oh, that reminds me of Josh. Friends. Okay, so this is actually the book that I was looking for when I read The Three Women back. When was that? Sometime during this podcast.
Okay.
I read The Three Women.
I don't remember this.
Well, it was a 3-star. It was a book. But this is the one that I was looking for when I found that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I finally got around to getting this one. So I'm going to read the synopsis. A riveting true story about the sex lives of 3 real American women based on nearly a decade of reporting. In suburban Indiana, we meet Lena, a homemaker and mother of 2 whose marriage, after a decade, has lost its passion. Starving for affection, Lena battles daily panic attacks and, after reconnecting with an old flame through social media, embarks on an affair that quickly becomes all-consuming. In North Dakota, we meet Maggie, a 17-year-old high school student who allegedly has a clandestine physical relationship with her handsome married English teacher. The ensuing criminal trial will turn their quiet community upside down. Finally, in an exclusive enclave of the Northeast, we meet Sloane, a gorgeous, successful, and refined restaurant owner who is happily married to a man who likes to watch her have sex with other men and women. Based on years of immersive reporting and told with astonishing frankness and immediacy, Three Women is both a feat of journalism and a triumph of storytelling, brimming with nuance and empathy, a work of deep observation, long conversations, and a kind of journalistic alchemy. Kate Tuttle, NPR. Three Women introduces us to 3 unforgettable women and one remarkable writer whose experiences remind us that we are not alone. All right, so I listened to this one on Libby from April 9th to April 10th. Okay, so the book that I was talking about, this one that I got confused with, was The Three Women by Valerie Keogh.
Okay.
In September of last year. So that's the one that the mix-up is with.
I'm getting it mixed up with Young Rich Widows.
You are.
Yeah.
You are getting it mixed up with.
Well, I'm thinking of Little
I'm
Women.
gonna cut it. Definitely not Little Women. Definitely not Little Women. So day 1 reading, I got through 53%. At that point, my thoughts were 5-star. Every woman needs to read this to know they're not alone, because every woman has something that they can relate to with this book. It's actually, it's like the whole high school teacher thing is absolutely sickening. Lena, who is the one that has the affair, that one is a little bit tougher to get behind, but I was on board for her, like her thought process and stuff. I understood. I don't like it, but I understood, and everything like that. Like, I was on board with these people, right? And then day 2, I read the rest of it, and it was just like, it was a little excessive. It went, like, did we have to go into that much more detail with Lena and Sloane's sex life? Like, they went into heavy detail. So this is an 18+ only book, because of how much detail they went into. It was just completely unnecessary, I felt like, because the point wasn't about the sex. It was about the feelings that came from it. So why did you focus so much on the sex?
Yeah.
Not to say that the act of a woman's sexual patterns or whatever is anything to, like, be icked out by, obviously, but
in this excessive of a quantity,
Yes.
are you just checking the smut box to
Yes.
get people to read it?
Right. And like, what's the point of it when your message is supposed to be about the feelings, not the sex
Yeah.
itself? But if it's about like your emotional well-being and stuff, maybe back off a little bit. Just saying. Because the positions didn't change the emotional side of these things. You know? I don't know.
Have to know more, I guess. That's one of those you'd have to read to get it.
Maybe. But at the same time,
You don't want me to read it.
I don't. It's not that I don't want you to read it.
recommend it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say. I think all those extra comments and stuff, like, it feels like that was just for the first 53% that I read.
Yeah.
You know, not for the last half of it. It wasn't worth all that. And I know this one is going to be a tough one. I know there are going to be women who would say, "Oh, you're slut shaming," to which I would say, "No, I'm not." Because that's none of my business. But I do think if you're going to make a book about women's sexuality, maybe give them something positive to look at. Instead of someone who was knowingly helping a man cheat on his wife and calling that love.
No, it's okay to slut shame cheaters.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We can
maybe,
slut shame them.
Maybe I am slut shaming her. Lena, I know she's a real person, but and I understand. Okay, so her husband was like basically refusing to touch her. They went to marriage counseling, and the counselor even told her, well, he shouldn't be made to do something that he doesn't want to do. One of the things that you should be allowed to do is show your full sexuality to your partner, you know? And so her not being able to do that because it made him uncomfortable, that feels like a bad relationship. But what I would say is get out of it before you start something with somebody else. And then on top of that, you're starting it with somebody who is also married and who doesn't get a divorce in all this. At least she gets a separation, but he does not. And you know that about this guy, and you're talking about how amazing of a guy he is. Like that, don't promote that as a good story for women to hear. You know, like the way that she made it sound, it was like she was happy with being the other woman. Don't be happy being the other woman. I feel like that's common sense. That's common sense, I fear. You know, like, don't. One, you deserve better. Two, you should be a better person than that.
There's some women who only go after married men.
And that's a problem.
That's gross.
That's disgusting.
You need to
actually
fix something in yourself.
Yes, exactly. So I didn't like how nonchalant that entire situation was. I don't know. Maybe, but no, I don't think there's any justification for cheating. I get that she was unhappy, but that doesn't mean that she roped somebody else into doing this when he's happily married.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just because I get it doesn't make it right.
Exactly. So maybe instead of empowering that, remind women that true feminism does not include supporting that behavior. Maybe put a statement in there that kind of relationship isn't healthy, no matter how you try to justify it. It is not healthy. You can't justify it. And that's not feminism.
Well, you're actively hurting another woman.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
we got the representative, the main representative of feminism here. And would you agree?
Yeah.
With that statement, that is not feminism.
No.
That is not empowering women. That is
It's actually deeply misogynistic if you think about it.
Yeah. So for this to be a very feminism empowering book and to focus too much on that, I didn't like that. I hated the ending. It felt cut short. Just like Forgive Me, Leonard Peacock. It felt like, and I realized these were real stories, so she cut off the real story. But I personally feel like she should have waited until something kind of resolved with each of them. Each of them were stuck in this limbo at the end still. Nobody got happy. And I'm not saying, and that's why this book is so tough to talk about, because it sounds bad. It's like, oh, find the bright spot out of this terrible situation that you're. I'm not saying that, but I do feel like there's something to be learned, and that itself, the learning experience, knowing that you're not going to be going through that again, is the bright spot. Am I wrong? Maybe drop a comment down below if I'm being insensitive.
Hindsight is always 20/20.
Yes, but at the same time, I feel like she could have waited wrapping this book up, at least for that little bit, for them to at least learn something and be like, here's what I learned through this experience. Here's what I want other women to learn through that might be going through similar experiences.
So is this almost like a documentary?
Yeah, of these three women. It's real life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just feel like there could have been something.
Yeah.
Some kind of message besides, hey, you're not the only one going through it. There's other people who have gone through this as well.
It's not her story. It's not the author's story. So it's like a documentary where like somebody comes in and they're like.
It's a biography instead of an autobiography.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So
is this real?
Yes, this is all real experiences.
Oh.
Yes.
I mean, I guess they didn't really learn anything.
Yeah. Well, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're wanting to make a book like this that is going to try to help people, because I feel like the first half of this book, I was like, man, this could really help women. But you don't give us anything to grasp onto at the end on how they made it out and how they are doing currently. And yeah, not let it go, obviously, because it's something that happened to you, but learn from it and alter your way going forward. Again,
Use your brain. That thing in your head. Use it.
Again, it's so tough to talk about because it sounds like I'm not supportive. I am.
Yeah, Hannah's not a girl's girl. Comment down below. Roast her. She's anti-feminism. She wants the world to be ran by men. She thinks women deserve to be in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I hate being in the kitchen. But I do think it's important. Better days are somewhere. They might be pretty far in the future, but they are somewhere. That's what you got to grasp onto. That's what was missing.
But if you would have told Heartbroken Alley that back in like
I know that's what's tough.
Yeah, that's
why they need to hear it.
No,
you know?
I get it. I
do. Gosh. So to leave it on that heartbreak note doesn't solidify anything. Yeah. Oh, there's better days ahead. I promise you. I gave it a 3 out of 5, 3.71 overall. Libby or $8.98 hardback is cheapest. Crazy. Yeah. Hardback is cheapest. Oh, Allie.
Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain.
Wasn't that canceled? Are you allowed to read that?
Ooh. Actually, I do want to talk about this. I'm pretty sure that the narrator is a white man.
Does he say things?
They use the N-word with the hard R a lot. I was like, maybe we should have got a different voice, dude.
I gotcha.
But also, I wouldn't want to ask somebody of color to read that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to ask that of someone.
It is tough. I mean, I see how it's a classic. I get it, Mm-hmm. I also see how people would be pissed off. So
maybe some things don't need to be audiobooks all the time.
The reason
should be the author. It should have to be the author. There we go. Yeah. You wrote it. You have to read it.
That's a good in between.
If you're going to put...
Is Mark Twain still alive?
No, he's not. That's why maybe this is just not.
How old is this book?
This book is...
It's old.
Yeah, it's a teacher's pick. 3.8 on Goodreads, but only a 4.4 on Amazon. It says published 2024.
That's not right.
Yeah.
No, that's just a republishing of it.
So I realized after reading this, I probably should have read Tom Sawyer first, then Huckleberry Finn, and then, because the reason I read Adventures of Huckleberry Finn is so that I could have read James later in the month, which I did.
Okay. Yes, you did.
So... I'll go ahead and read the synopsis.
Yes,
so, Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. After he and his good buddy Tom Sawyer had uncovered a small fortune, Huckleberry Finn finds himself restrained by the demands of an overbearing guardian. Never one to be confined by the proprieties of society, Huck bolts from his dull life in pursuit of a more exciting and mischievous life. I don't really know what to say.
I gotcha. It's a classic.
It's a classic. It is.
How long of a book is this? Was it very long?
It was pretty long.
Okay.
Actually, longer than you would think.
Okay, because I feel like Tom Sawyer
245 pages.
Oh, I mean that's not terrible.
No, let me see how many hours it was. It had. I can see why it's a classic. There was like so many different stories all rolled into one to create one just big, oh, this is why we did it. That type of deal.
Gotcha.
Tom Sawyer was a little turd. Huckleberry's just a sweet boy trying to get along with with Tom Sawyer. Right. And he's like, okay, I guess I'll do it,
Gotcha.
Did anybody else watch that I pulled it up on my phone. That 1995 movie Tom Huck that starred Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
No,
y'all didn't. The kid who played Randy and Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Yeah,
I loved that movie. It was so cute. I had an unhealthy obsession with him though.
100% didn't everybody?
I can't remember most of the plot, but he was adorable.
How cool is that?
Yeah,
I really don't have a lot to say.
Are you glad you read it?
I mean, yeah. It was a book, I guess.
I gotcha. Yeah.
How many stars?
I'd give it a 3.
Okay.
It's a book.
Average,
I probably should have learned something. Because it's a classic.
I kind of got distracted by the end, so I was hoping to get how it ended in James, but spoiler alert, it does not end the way that Huckleberry Finn does.
Gotcha. So. Okay. Well, maybe one day.
So.
Yeah. We're in a golden age of books right now, though.
I tried to look up the Cliff Notes because I was like, I'm not reading that book.
All right. So I read after that the Ballad of Never After, which is book 2 in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series.
Oh.
Yes. I listened on Libby on April 14th. So I got stressed because the third book became available before this one did. And so I didn't know how long it would take to get this one. But I got it while getting ready for a vow renewal for my friend, Allison. Yes. Nice. So I was like, as soon as it came, I was like, yes. And they were like, what's up? And I was like, it's a book. Thankfully, they all understand. So... but yes, I was already in love with Jax. But oh my gosh, after this book,
we got to change the name.
After this book, I almost feel ruined for all other book boyfriends. He's the new standard.
Really?
Yeah. Including
fantasy.
After the second one, this is fantasy.
Oh well, I guess so.
After this one. It's going to be hard to beat. And I guess I should say new book boyfriends. Like this is the newest one, and every book boyfriend going forward, like any new series that I read, they're going to have to measure up to Jax, Amazing. Sheesh. I gave this one a 4 out of 5. It's a 4.5 overall, which is 0.44 higher than the first book. And I completely agree.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not going to read the synopsis because I don't want to give anything away.
Did you say this is on Kindle Unlimited?
No, it is not. It's on Libby, but it's only $9.99 on Kindle. That's the cheapest. So
I'm a cheapskate. I ain't paying for a digital thing.
Same. Well, I pay for audio. You pay for Spotify.
Yeah. I pay for Audible.
I pay for no ads.
Right. Understandable, really. And I do want to insert this here. This is when I accidentally DNF'd The Chain by Adrian McKinty.
Oh.
Yes. So I started listening on April 15th, I think. And this was an accidental DNF on the 19th. I got 76% of the way through. I didn't pay attention. And as I was getting ready to come record with Mom that morning that we recorded with Mom, I pulled up my Libby and I realized there were 2.5 hours left in the book, and I only had 2 hours left on the hold.
Oh, no.
On any other day, that wouldn't have been an issue because I cranked it up to 2.5. But the problem is, I didn't notice it until, I was getting ready.
Yeah.
So I
only
had
like 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Did you know you have 30 minutes? Yeah. That's
30. 30.
Yes. Yeah. That's exactly what happened. And I cranked it up even to 3. Couldn't get there. So, yeah. And I knew I wasn't, we were about to record with Mom. That would be within the 2 hours of having it left. So, yeah. I don't know if I would have wanted to anyway. It was okay, but not great.
Yeah.
I could kind of see where it was going. So,
now, through this lens, this was a recommendation
Yes.
from a 6th grade middle school student.
yes.
If you would read this in 6th grade, would this have been
Yeah.
a pretty good, scary read for them? Spooky, thriller-ish.
I think so.
Okay.
But at the same time, they were really nice about the kid that they captured.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess I could see it.
Everybody was very anger-inducing.
Yeah. Yes. I will say, having read it, it was less weird that she got with her ex-brother-in-law than I originally thought.
Okay.
Whenever you
It's still
originally
weird.
said it was like, but
It's still
having read
weird.
their story, it's less weird than it was initially. It is still weird, but it's less weird than I originally thought whenever you mentioned it. Also, I did kind of see where the daughter was coming from, being mad at her mom for kidnapping.
Girl.
I did kind of see she was scared.
These are
out.
fictional people. You will not hurt their feelings.
I know, but
If you
I'm
give them a
hurting
little bit
yours.
hard of a time.
no, but she was scared out of her mind in that cell. So she was ready to shoot a guy to get out of there. This 12-year-old was going to
Her
shoot
mom
a
kidnapped
man.
a child.
But she knows how scared that little kid was.
Okay.
Like, she feels that fear that little kid probably felt. And she was like, how dare you do that to somebody else? Somebody even younger than her, who's even less...
I don't know. If Isla did that to me, I'd still pop her.
she still deserves
You're like,
a spanking,
girl,
but I will
Learn
say,
some gratefulness.
yes.
First.
When you said popper, I did not go to like. I went to
you
like.
wanna get
a cap. I was like, dang, I've
Lauren-
not read it yet, but what happened?
Lauren,
Oh my god!
Lauren
Oh.
Kent from Utah. Do you want to get popped or do you want to get along? Lauren
you
Kent
to
from
your
Utah.
daughter? So yeah, I won't be renewing this loan.
No.
It was several months wait, and I
a
just
very interesting premise.
yes, yeah,
Very interesting premise.
We
the
might just-
execution.
We might just talk about it, and you can tell me the ending, and then I'll just know the ending or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Worked for me.
because I just don't care enough to wait another several months to get the book.
Really?
And I
I got
really
mine
don't care
immediately. That's crazy.
enough. Yeah, it's
I
several.
do
months.
have 2.
I could just stumble across
Yeah,
it.
quit
at some
bragging
point,
about
but-
your double library cards. I got booted off all the free ones I had already used. So.
If I had finished it, I would have given it a 3. It's a 3.79 overall. It's on Libby, $9.99 on Kindle. So, yeah, that was my DNF of the month,
Cool.
and it was dumb. It was a dumb DNF, but I'm not gonna seek it out again.
Yeah.
So, all right, you next, Allie.
Happy Place.
Yes,
Did
what
we
is
read
this
this
one?
one also? It's Emily Henry.
It's on my TBR. I did put it in the game,
okay.
but I redacted everything.
That is
important.
right. That
So
is
do you
right.
want me to or no?
Yes, read it.
Okay.
Go for it.
Happy Place by Emily Henry. This is a beach read. The beach read master hooks us again.
Emily Henry.
Harriet and Wynne have been the perfect.
Hold up. I've read this one, and I did talk about it on the podcast.
Okay.
So we have read the synopsis.
Okay.
When you said win, I was like, No, it's
Yeah.
the beach house one in
Yes.
Maine.
Yes.
Oh.
So
Yes, we have
Sorry.
read this one already.
the whole thing
I was on the wait list
is-
for a super long time, so I just thought I was continuously forevermore waiting on this one. My bad.
Aw.
A couple that has been together, everybody thinks that they're perfect.
Yes.
They break up. They don't tell their friends about it. Their friends invite them on this vacation. Turns out they're getting married, so they decide, oh, let's fake it for a little bit longer.
Yes.
I did not love this couple. They should have stayed broken up. He did not appreciate her. She did way too much for him. I
Hate
feel
to
like
see
she
it.
sacrificed a lot of her happiness because of what he thought was happiness, and he kept telling her was happiness.
But she wasn't truly happy
She
doing
was-
what she was
no.
doing, though.
But I think that he was like, oh, you're not happy. And she's like, you're right. I don't think she was happy, but
Yeah.
She was too on board with him
Yeah.
saying that instead of
now the friend group, I did like the friend group, but they all kept secrets from each other and then got mad when the other people kept secrets from them. It's
hypocrites.
like,
Yeah.
hypocrisy. It's very hypocritical.
I wasn't going to do it, but you did it. So
Yeah. It gave me a real ethereal feeling.
Oh, that was mean. They don't know that one yet.
Aha.
Oh.
So it
Stick
sounds
around
like
for next week.
It sounds like I did it first.
hey, I'm just copying Allie in the next episode, okay?
I don't know. It was a good story.
Mm-hmm.
However, have you seen those TikToks where it's like, which couples do you think got a divorce? 100% this one.
I gotcha. Yeah.
100%. I think they've just been together for so long that they don't know how to not be with each other. You know?
It's
I don't
more
think they
like
get a divorce. I think they're that old couple who sits in silence and then just like grunts at each other.
Yeah.
Or says mean things.
Yeah, like they're really
You're
not
like, man,
happy.
y'all should have got a divorce.
Right.
Like
You probably would have
they,
been
they turn
happier.
into
Maybe.
they turn into her parents, where they stay together just because of the kids.
Oh.
I guess you're right. That does.
Yeah.
I give
Where
this
they
a 4
just scream
star.
at
What
each
did
other,
you
or
give
they don't
it?
talk. I still give it a 4 star. I really enjoyed the
Okay,
story.
okay.
I just wasn't in love with the couple,
Yeah,
and I feel
I can
like
see
that
that.
kind of put a little damper on the story.
Considering they're the main
Yeah.
couple.
Yeah,
of the,
yeah.
Of the,
But like, as
gotcha.
far as like, it's funny. It has good like
Right.
little plot lines. You
Yeah.
know, I do like it. I just didn't like when.
Yeah.
You know,
I
So,
gotcha. Dang.
I feel
That
like
sucks
he's a
to
little
see.
crybaby. Don't
Yeah, he
cry.
could
Got
be a
him.
little.
Yeah.
Got him.
So, but it was still good. As far as Emily Henry books go, is this my bottom? Yes, but it's still a 4 star,
Right.
and I think that you should give it a shot. Maybe just read this book before you read Funny Story. Never read Funny Story, actually, because nothing will compare.
Read every other Emily Henry book and then read
Yes.
Funny Story. 'Cause that way you can end on a high.
Yes.
That's the lesson I'm taking from
Exactly.
this.
Yes.
But
So
anyway.
and then I read James.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure this is by Percival Everett. Don't
So,
quote me on this.
Why did you want to read Huck Finn before?
So this book is from the perspective of the slave that Huck Finn is traveling with.
Ah.
Whoa, I didn't know that was even a
okay.
thing.
Yes.
Again, I
so,
never read them. So
This is by Percival Everett. It was Barnes and Noble's book of the year last year.
Okay. Imagine essentially
Yeah.
writing a fanfic
Yes.
and it being Barnes and Noble top book of the year. Like,
Like you
Could
just
you
stole someone's
imagine?
idea and just twisted it around. You're like, I won. A
Like-
book that's been out for decades. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm a winner.
That's so funny. Anyway, I'm not like trash talking or anything. Like that's the first thing that came to mind. That's all I'm saying.
It is in development as a feature film to be produced by Steven Spielberg.
Hey.
Best book of the year from New York Times Book Review, LA Times, The New Yorker, The Atlantic, The Economist, Time, and more.
Dang.
And you know what I have to say?
What?
Eh.
Oh.
I hate when they give all
Yeah.
those accolades and then
It's
you
a
go,
normal people
Meh.
situation.
3 women.
okay.
Okay.
Why are you raving about it? I
Cool.
mean, it was okay.
And maybe it's because
That's
I
so
read
sad.
Huckleberry Finn before, so I was like, I've heard this story. You know?
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Maybe, but
It
at the
is a
same
different
time,
perspective, and it is really interesting. I don't think that this is too much of a spoiler because, like in Huckleberry Finn, because of the time period it was written, it's like, oh, he's just a black man. He believes in spirits, and he talks real, like he don't talk right, and like all this other stuff. It's just like, oh, he's so stupid because he's a black man, you know? And so at the beginning of James, you realize that he's like actually teaching his children. He's like, okay, so you know how to keep white people happy. You gotta be stupider than them. Now, what do you tell a white woman if she starts a fire on the stove? Well, you bring her some salt or some flour to tame. He's like, no. She'll think that you're calling her stupid. So what do you say? You know how? And she tries to pour water on a oil. You know, and they're like, oh, actually, you can just grab this right here. Look what I found, or something like something along those lines. To where it's like, white people are like, oh, mine's stupid.
Right.
They would have never said. I can't say what they would have said back then.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah.
Would never.
We know. We can all.
Could
we
never
will
be me.
all assume
Will
we're
never
all
be.
adults here. We
Okay.
know what would have been said.
So it says, when the enslaved Jim overhears that he is about to be sold to a man in New Orleans, separated from his wife and daughter forever, he decides to hide on nearby Jackson Island until he can formulate a plan. Meanwhile, Huck Finn has faked his own death to escape his violent father, recently returned to town. As all readers of American literature know, thus begins the dangerous and transcendent journey by raft down the Mississippi River toward the elusive and too often unreliable promise of the free states and beyond. While many narrative set pieces of Adventures of Huckleberry Finn remain in place, floods and storms stumbling across both unexpected death and unexpected treasure in the myriad stopping points along the river's banks, encountering the scam artist posing as the Duke and Dolphine, Jim's agency, intelligence, and compassion are shown in a radically new light. Brimming with the electrifying humor and lacerating observations that have made Everett a literary icon and one of the most decorated writers in our lifetime, James is destined to be a cornerstone of 21st century American literature.
Nice.
So, yeah, I know. It's good. So,
Seems to be a trend,
new
though.
perspective.
Now, there is a
Historical
plot
things
twist
are
in this
not-
book.
Oh,
Is
yeah?
there?
Oh my God, is there a plot twist in this book?
Okay.
I'm never going to give this plot twist away because y'all are going to be like, what?
Okay.
There is a plot twist in this book. Just,
That kind of makes me want to read it so I can know what the plot twist is, lady. Okay.
don't read Huckleberry Finn first. You get basically all you need to know from reading James.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to read Huckleberry Finn, it's a classic. So,
Okay. Ready. Nice.
all right.
All right.
Take it away, Hannah.
Okay, so I finished up the Once Upon a Broken Heart series with A Curse for True Love by
How did you
Stephanie
get these so
Garber.
quick?
They came pretty quickly together through Libby.
Okay, so you saved them all at once.
Yes, it
Yeah,
was-
because I saw it was several months late. So
It was. I took my chances, and it just happened to work out. Yeah. So I actually read this electronically through Libby. Yes, I got the ebook of this one and read it on my Kindle, which was nice. Yes. I read it from the 21st to the 23rd. I've only read an ebook through Libby one other time, and then it was on the Libby app. This one gave me the option.
Always go to
Always
Kindle.
push the
Yes.
Kindle option if you can get
Well,
it.
I didn't
Because of
remember
when
seeing
Dixie,
that.
because of when Dixie didn't have that option.
Oh, okay.
So I had to read it through
okay.
Libby.
So maybe that's what it was with
It's
the last
possible,
one. That I
yeah.
did. Well, technically the first one that I did,
Yeah.
But between this book and the second one, I saw a post saying not to read this series before reading the Caraval series that Stephanie Garber also wrote, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm already in. Like, I'm not going to just stop in the middle of the series.
Especially after waiting months to get it.
I literally waited months. So I'll be reading those at some point, and I will let you know if they were just being dramatic or if that's the way they should be read. I will know. I feel like, you know, maybe I'll know. But yeah, so I saw that and I was like, oh, well.
Yeah.
A little late for that, buddy. Thanks for that. And this is just more proof that our phones listen to us, okay? Which we all knew that, but anyway.
She's going to get her aluminum foil hat here in a minute.
I already have one made. Let's see.
It was ironic at first.
All right.
But then the voices got so much quieter.
Yes. Seems to be working. So this series was amazing. I love her writing style. Her writing style is just it's so fantastical, you know, like it is so Disney. So this entire series was very cartoon for me, which Assistant to the Villain had that same vibe. It's just fabulous writing. She did great. I love Stephanie Garber now. So so happy I decided to read it. I again would have eaten this up in high school. If you're looking for a good yearning book, look no further.
They're still yearning?
There is so much. Yeah.
There's no Fade to Black yet?
No Fade to Black. Yeah. This is your series if you're looking for yearning. This is yearning in its purest form. Scrumdiddlyumptious. Also great for your teen kiddos. If you've got teens, I feel like this would be a good series for them.
Get Brooklyn back into reading.
Yeah, get your teen into reading with this series. I genuinely feel like it would work.
Yeah.
Jax. Just Jax. He's so stupid. But he's also perfect. I love him. I gave it a 4 out of 5. It's a 4.14 overall. It is a several month wait on Libby, as we have discussed. But it's $2.99 on Kindle.
Oh.
Yes. So, if you can't wait, get it on Kindle. It's worth it. Well worth it. Loved it. I'm so hype.
Speaking, I'm gonna circle back.
Yes.
Use that keyword. If you get a book on Libby and you download it to Kindle,
yes,
so you can read it there. I've seen a hack, and I'm currently testing it with Kamala Harris's memoir. If you turn your Kindle on airplane mode after you download it, they can't take it back from you. So we're gonna see. I have 5 days, and I'm letting it run out purposefully because I'm already in a rut with reading. Right. I'm in an audio moment. So I'm going to let it run out, and we're going to see if next month if I still have it.
That might be a hack.
I know. I also don't know if it keeps it from the next person getting it, and then I will feel bad. But it's worth the try.
Yeah.
I have to know. So
they won't know the difference.
That could be fun if you ever have one of those that's about to run out moments. You just
that is downloaded.
Airplane mode and don't move it until you're ready.
Crazy. You'll have to let us know how that works. We'll see. Okay. All right. You are next, Ellie, and I can't read what that is.
It's all black. Or did you just put a blank square there?
Do I even know?
Oh, you put it in black. Heartless.
Oh. Elsie Silver.
Yes.
So I started reading this series like over a year ago. And I paused on this book, and I needed something cheesy, so I finished this. Even
After
though I was
James.
I was already like 80% of the way through it at first, and I kind of like DNF'd it, so I just finished it.
Okay.
Those count. That was me with burying the husband book.
It's a cheesy. It is so cheesy. I didn't realize how cheesy it was.
I gotcha.
Until I came back to it.
Was it too cheesy?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It was. It is, the tropes are as follows: single dad, older, cowboy, enemies to lovers, she's the nanny. Yeah.
Do you have a synopsis? Is it any good?
Do you want me to?
You want
I
me
will.
to?
Okay.
Okay, let's hear it.
Working as a nanny for the world's grumpiest single dad should be simple, except she can't take her eyes off him, and he can't keep his hands off her.
I already want to throw up.
Cade Eaton is 13 years older than Willa Grant, and he barely looks her way, even though she's living in his house for the summer. That is, until she gets him into the hot tub one night for a game of truth or dare. Then all bets are off, and so are their clothes.
Oh my god!
Cade is gruff, a little rough around the edges, but broad-shouldered ranchers with calloused hands and filthy mouths are this city girl's kryptonite. Kryptonite. So who is she? But it's in their quietest moments together that he softens. It's in the unexpected way he takes care of Willa that she realizes his hardened exterior is just a facade. And it's when she watches him go all sweet with his little boy that she starts to fall for him, whatever the consequences. Someone once convinced Cade that his best wasn't good enough, but Willa has never felt more cherished than she does in his arms. Her contract says this arrangement is only for 2 months, but her heart says this is forever.
I'm glad I made you read that. I'm glad I made you do that.
Yes, I am too. Oh, wow. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Wow. That sounds...
Okay. I'm going to throw up. I got to read quotes.
There are quotes.
Willa might be a bit of a psycho. After all, she did just push a child into the pool. But the more time I spend with her, the more I feel like she's my psycho.
Oh my god.
Highlighted by 4,667 Kindle readers. Okay, ready?
The audacity.
Highlighted by 3,569 Kindle readers. Beg. Pardon me? You heard me. Her lips don't even twitch. She's not joking at all. Beg.
Yeah. How is that one less highlighted than the other one?
I don't know. Life lesson, head. Careful who you pick a fight with. Someone insane might love them. I don't know.
Did she think she ate with that?
I guess.
But
it is he is a cowboy.
Reread that.
I can't.
Please.
Oh, wait. The quote? Or
Yeah, the
thing?
quote.
Oh, thank God.
quote.
Just the quote.
Okay. Life lesson, head. Careful who you pick a fight with. Someone insane might love them.
I feel where the vibes were supposed to be. I understand where you were trying to go with that.
She missed.
Yeah.
She missed.
Yeah. It's about 2 paces to the left,
Yeah.
which is bad when you're playing darts.
Broad-shouldered ranchers
Yes.
with calloused hands and filthy mouths are this city girl's kryptonite. Just put that on my tombstone.
Law. Wow. So what did you rate this? What did you rate
Did
it?
I have to?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I'd give it like a 3.
You gave
Okay.
it 5, didn't you?
I mean, it took me a year to read it. You know?
Yeah, that is true.
I'm not a fan of the single dad romance.
Right.
You know?
I feel you.
But, yeah. So, I finished it.
That's what.
I added a book to my repertoire.
Right.
So,
Law. Wow.
did I become a little dumber while I did it? Yeah.
Oh my god. I think I got dumber just by listening to the synopsis. Oh my gosh.
Don't talk to me anymore.
All right.
Hannah,
Oh.
you're next. You have to follow
I
that.
made a super cheesy one next
I think that description was worse than Juicy Pickle.
Yes, it definitely was. It definitely was. You are right there. So I read a super cheesy one next too. It was called, and Amanda warned me. And it was very cheesy, but it's very short. It was only like 176 pages.
Oh,
and it was on Kindle
got the job
Unlimited.
done.
Yeah. So, it's Big Fan by Alexandra Romanoff.
Okay. Hockey?
No,
Not a hockey romance?
no.
Can I guess?
Go for it.
Is it sports?
No.
Okay. I don't know.
A political strategist tainted by a scandalous ex finds an unexpected career detour when her teenage boy band crush offers a second chance at the spotlight and maybe something more. Maya was a rising star in the political world until her ex-husband's high-profile sex scandal nearly derailed her career. Landing a gubernatorial candidate like Teresa Powell is the fresh start she desperately needs, a chance to focus on meaningful work and leave the drama behind. But then an email from her past sends her world spinning. Charlie, former lead singer of Mischief, the boy band that fueled her teenage obsession, is staging a solo comeback and wants Maya's help to make it happen. Turns out she likes the grown-up Charlie and his genuine engagement with the world. Maya's not about to ditch her political ambitions for a teenage crush, but if she can leverage Charlie to draw attention to the politics she cares about, shouldn't she give it a try? This was so Wattpad coded.
Yes, I was literally about to say, this is, she pulled her mousy brown hair back in a bun, put her jacket on, went downstairs, and her mom said,
Converse on.
yeah, and her mom said, I've sold you. Who have you sold me to? One Direction. Harry says,
and it's
get in the bus.
He said, get in the bus, YN.
YN.
Maya was YN in this book. The best thing about it was only 176 pages. I read it.
Not even good smut.
It was okay. It was okay. So I read this April 24th to April 27th. It was recommended by Amanda, so obviously I had to read it. It felt very Wattpad coded, mainly because she got to work with a member of a band she was obsessed with in her younger teenage years.
I mean, honestly, if Logan from Big Time Rush emailed me and was like, I need you to be my personal assistant, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, it was more organic of a story than Wattpad, but it still had me thinking of it that entire time. It does have a couple recreational scenes, but it's not very spicy. It's mild in comparison to a lot of the books that we've read.
Air of Blood and Moonlight.
I'm sorry, okay? We go one episode without me apologizing for it, and
we can't have that. I don't have much to say about this book. It was three stars. It's 3.82 overall. I do think that's a little bit high.
I think that's a little gracious.
But maybe I just got too much of this whenever I was younger, and I was just sick of it.
This is
I don't know.
nowadays Wattpad. They've apparently not learned how to use it.
So
I've sold you to One Direction.
Yes.
Harry's like, get in the bus, YN.
So this is on Kindle Unlimited. All of the purchasing options are pretty close together. $9.45 on Audible, $9.70 on paperback, $9.99 on Kindle. Like, it's all in that $9 range. Don't bother. It's 176 pages. Like, don't bother. Please.
Louis says, oh my gosh, I love your style.
That's funny.
Zane is like, oh, could you help me pick out an outfit? It matches. You have the vibe that I'm going for.
Yeah, you have the best style I've ever seen. In her Converse and her skinny jeans.
And a t-shirt just thrown on.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So bad. All right.
Me.
All right.
I didn't read anything cheesy this month. It's the only thing I read this month.
Heck yeah.
I read from April 14th to April 28th, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yay!
Yeah. That's that prison in California, right?
Close.
Close.
They don't have the Dementors.
They
might.
I was there. I missed them, I guess. I don't know. I guess I read the synopsis for this
I've
one?
already read it, but
Have you? Okay, cool. I gave this 4 stars.
yes,
I really liked this one.
yes. How's your rating so far with the first 3 books? Now that you're through them,
Ranking them?
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's hard, isn't it? Because they're all so neck and neck.
Yeah. I encompass Harry Potter as just Harry Potter.
Right.
I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if I don't have one, I don't have the other. And I just feel like it's hard to put one above.
Right. It really is. It really is. What do you think of Sirius Black?
Well, obviously, we hate him.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. My brain inserted Severus Snape. I was like, obviously, we hate him, Hannah. We all know how you feel. Sirius, not Severus. Sirius Black.
No.
We like Sirius Black.
Yes.
I really wanted him to take Harry.
I know.
When he says, you can come live with me. And Harry's like, yes. I was like,
Yes.
oh, but I know you don't get to do
Did you get the
that.
same vibe? Did you get the same vibe where it was like, I hate him, but if you want to live with me? And he's like,
Yes.
okay, well.
Like, as a child, you should have totally said, no, this guy could have killed you. Like, this is a guy with a van with candy written on the side of it.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be getting into it. We just happen to know it really is a guy just handing out candy, though. It's like, oh, how sweet.
Yeah.
Maybe don't. But also, I was like,
know.
I wish you could go.
I know.
But you have to go back to the Dursleys. I'm sorry.
How about the difference between the book and the movie with Snape?
Tell me
and
some of the
everything?
things that you thought were different, because I'm having a hard time differentiating what I read and what I watched.
Okay, first of all, Ron Weasley stays asleep the entire time. He's still recouping through the entire thing. He does not see Harry and Hermione leave with the time turner. He does not see them come back. He's asleep.
Okay.
Second, Dumbledore locks them into the hospital wing for the clarification of, they've been there the whole time because the door's been locked.
Yeah.
Nobody can suspect them of doing anything because the door's been locked.
Yeah.
So, and that was a huge point because
Yeah.
Snape was like, Harry did this, and that's when it turned into a
And they
fairy
asked the
godparents,
nurse,
you know,
yeah,
and
basically.
yeah.
Were they in here? I'd have heard if they did anything.
Exactly. The nurse was completely missing from
Yeah.
that scene. The locked door was completely missing. Yeah. I just think there was too many important things were different.
Yeah.
Important things. Ron completely saw them leave. How did you end up? You were just over. How did? Like.
Yeah. They weren't supposed to let him know.
Yeah. Bruh.
Also, I get the vibe that if he had been awake, Book Hermione would have hit him with something. Walked up and be like,
Yeah.
he can't know. Pan. Bam.
For sure.
Okay, we're
She
good
was
to go, Harry.
Adamant about keeping that thing a
Yes,
secret.
She's a rule follower to a strange extent.
Yes, but how amazing that she went against the divination teacher,
Yeah.
Trelawney.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. We saw Hermione crack in this book. It
Yeah.
was amazing. Completely unhinged. She's amazing.
I will say, as with every time travel book or movie, there is the flaw that she misses that one class. She forgot to go to it.
She forgot to flip back to it.
Yeah, she could have just flipped back to it later, and then it would have never have happened that way.
Time travel's weird.
It is,
Time
and
travel-
I always hate when they
It's a
include time
paradox.
travel. You could have always went back then. Also, you could have fixed a lot of other things
Well-
with this time turner.
Yeah.
But I think everybody has said that she does realize how big of an issue this is, and that's why it kind of disappears after this
Right.
book, because it's a big plot hole at that point. That why don't we just flip the time turner and go back and change it?
And everybody who says, why didn't they just go back in time and stop Voldemort? Why didn't they just go back in time and stop Voldemort? Here's the thing. The further back in time you go, the thing is they would still age. Because they're going, if they went back
do they?
years, they would have to end up in the exact same spot however many years they go back. So that means they've aged that much more.
So they would be in utero.
Yeah, well,
beyond utero.
No, they would be. No, I'm saying like.
Be like 25.
By the time
they
it
would
comes
be
back
12
to present
when they went
time,
there. They would age regularly.
Yes, they would have ended up being 24, 25.
They can't
whenever
just
they
time
get
turn
back.
themselves back.
No, it only goes backwards, or at least that's the only way that we're shown how it works.
Okay.
Yeah. So based on the information that we have, which is that it sends time backwards, no, it wouldn't make sense for them to go back and stop Voldemort. Because then that might change the trajectory
I'm going to
of their
take her word
lives.
as fact, seeing as how she's read it multiple times.
Why didn't we go back, since you can go backwards, and instead of having them age 50-some years, why don't they just kill him in Philosopher's Stone? And it's just 2 years off. Because then they know he's in the hat. We just attack him.
Well, I mean, technically Fred and George did that with snowballs in the first one.
Yeah, but now we know what's back there, and we get a baseball bat instead.
I don't think he would have.
Or magic.
We're shutting
But
this
then-
conversation down.
But then
we're
wouldn't.
done.
But then they wouldn't have had a story to. J.K. Rowling wouldn't have had a story to write.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm just pointing out that you could have done that too. Time travel's always a problem with writing because you don't have a story if it exists. A lot of times.
We're shutting this conversation down now because we are getting dangerously close to a subject that we can't talk about yet.
I mean, we've watched all the movies.
Allie hasn't,
Oh, sorry.
so we are shutting this conversation down.
We are shutting this down.
No more questions. We are not taking
Time
questions at
travel
this
is
time.
always a problem,
It can be.
and J.K. Rowling does realize it and removes it.
All right. So next, Allie.
Oh, Saving Noah.
Yes.
I don't really know when I finished this.
What is
if you
this?
want me to be honest? It is horrible. It is rage bait. Lucinda Berry even posted a TikTok saying that she gets like death threats because she wrote this book.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It is
That's intense.
bad. I wouldn't suggest that you read this.
Okay.
I wouldn't
Honestly.
suggest that you write death threats to anybody either.
Yeah.
No.
Seems
know.
a little extreme.
You can just throw the book away.
It is a different perspective.
Okay.
It is a gripping thriller and suspense. It is on Kindle Unlimited.
Okay.
Again, I wouldn't read it.
But if you have Kindle Unlimited, you could
For free. Basically. Girl math free.
girl math free.
I'm just going to go ahead and read the synopsis,
Do
which
it.
I wish I would have done instead of just going off of
Oh, no.
TikToks.
Oh,
You should
no.
have known.
Oh,
You should
no.
have known. You should have known.
My girl.
You did this after Air, Blood, and Moonlight, really?
I've got one line for
Yeah,
you.
we should have learned the lesson. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I've got one line for you all to catch the vibe on this.
Okay.
Got a vibe. We forgive murderers, not pedophiles.
Whoa! Yeah, no, I don't, actually. You're right, I don't forget pedophiles.
Not since Lionel Shriver brought us We Need to Talk About Kevin has a writer delved into the complexities of a disturbed mother-son relationship until now. Meet Noah, an A honor roll student, award-winning swimmer, and small-town star destined for greatness. There weren't any signs that something was wrong until the day he confesses, trigger warning, so sorry, to molesting little girls during swim practice. He's sentenced to 18 months in a juvenile sexual rehabilitation center. His mother, Adrian, refuses to turn her back on him despite his horrific crimes. But her husband won't allow Noah back into their home. In a series of shocking and shattering revelations, Adrian is forced to make the hardest decision of her life. Just how far will she go to protect her son?
No.
Okay, popular highlights in this book. If you did everything right and it still turned out wrong, then what was the point? There had to be a God because there had to be a heaven, a time when I got to see him again, and he was the one to walk me home. It made me sick. It made me nauseous.
I would not be able to read it.
It's bad.
I just with that first line alone, I will boycott this book.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is very like
I said no
They
death threats to
can't help
anybody, but
it.
that does not mean you don't have to turn this into the police if
Yes.
necessary.
it's very much so. But we don't blame people for having bipolar. It's a sickness in their brain.
I blame your response and how you react with it. You are still
Yes.
in control of yourself.
Yes.
We can I'm going to spoil this for you all because
Yes.
I do
I'm
not
not
suggest
reading
it.
it yet.
no, not reading it at all.
This book
No.
needs to be burned. You talk about like banned books.
Yes.
This should be one of them. And I don't know why it's not on a banned book, honestly. Probably because you shouldn't even allow it near a high school. Anyways, but it's very much so like, my sweet baby boy. He can't help it. He
Oh
can't
my
help
God.
it. He's just a sweet little baby boy. I'm like, ew. Ew. And the dad like wants nothing to do with the son.
I would be like,
and
the dad.
like while you're reading it, you're like, dude, he's your son. But then like at the
No.
same time, it's like, I can't.
No.
Can't.
No. At
I
that
think you
point,
can support your child without coddling him. And
I can also say I love you and that you're extremely wrong.
Yes.
And I hate this portion of you.
yes.
I love that I raised you,
yeah.
but you kind of did screw that up.
didn't mess that up. That sounds like a you problem.
Couldn't have been me.
Never have
No.
been me.
Wow.
Yeah. So no death
Oh,
threats.
I
You turn
need
it over
to
to
know,
CPS.
I need to know what this book is rated on
I can look that.
Goodreads.
I don't know on Goodreads.
I'll
I
take
have
Amazon.
it pulled up on Amazon.
Let's see it.
4.2 with 39,000 reviewers.
Excuse me?
You guys are making me mad.
It's so
that.
complex. It's so complex.
It's really not. It's
By
really
Lucinda
not.
Berry.
Yes. Lucinda,
3.92.
I will never read another Lucinda Berry book again. I cannot support that.
You're making me mad, people.
No.
Fix that rating now.
I need to read what someone put as a 5-star review, like what they put.
It pushes the bounds. I can already hear it.
It needs to be talked about.
It needs to be talked about because they're not all bad.
Also,
Yes.
who inherently just assumed I also forgive murderers?
Yeah.
Deeply unsettling on how moving this book is. I found myself somewhat uncomfortable with an author who could write about a subject like this, and also found myself absolutely absorbed in this story. I'm stunned with this writer's narrative. She tackles a strictly taboo subject and was able to very much humanize someone with repulsive inclinations. I became upset with myself that I even continued reading, to finally admitting I was struck with the realization of not knowing what I would do. My son is Noah's age. What would I do? It was fascinating and heart-wrenching. I bawled my eyes out for both Noah and his mother. It has you grasping at every moment shared with your family, has you asking deeper questions about your own existence and moral ground, which I think was part of the intention. Well done. Gripping, challenging, beautiful. No, could never be me.
That makes me want to throw up, actually. Out of anger.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know I usually cry out of anger? This is a whole new level of anger for me. Because I want to throw up.
It's so bad. Anyways, I don't suggest reading it.
I will not be reading that. You said I don't suggest reading normal people, and we still read it. I will not be reading that one.
It's anger inducing.
Yeah.
Like, it makes me want to, like, put the person who wrote it in jail.
Yeah.
Do you understand why she got death threats now?
I mean, yes.
Do I think she deserved them? No. Nobody deserves death threats.
This author is a former psychologist who specializes in childhood trauma.
Ew.
That
So
makes
I
it
guess-
worse somehow.
I guess she's writing from the perspective of things she's probably heard.
But what if it's things that she feels? Like, what if
Right,
she
that's
genuinely
always
feels
a
that way?
concern. Yeah.
That's weird. That sounds absolutely awful. I will never touch that book.
No,
unless it's to throw it into a fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
I
someone
think I could do
gifts
that.
it to you,
I will
Smack
throw it
them.
into a fire. Yeah. They're not your friend. They're secretly saying, I hate you. You know those flowers that you can send people that are like subliminal messages about like how they feel about you? Yeah. That tells you pretty plainly exactly what somebody thinks of you if they gift you this book. All right. So we are going to fix the end of this episode
thank God.
from that terrible book. I read Speaker for the Dead by Orson Scott Card, which is the second one in that Ender's Game series. I listed on Libby from the 28th to the 29th. This was published, I did make this note, 1 year after the first one. It was March 1986.
Okay.
Yes. I had a moment before I started where I was like, what if I can't get as into this second one as I got into the first one? Because the first one was so good. And I was like, what if it was a fluke? Because I already said I wasn't able to get into Star Wars very much. I've never been like a space girly or whatever. So I had that fear. I got hooked from like chapter 2. I was in. I was like, yeah, this is just as good. Just as good as the first one. Yes. Ooh. The first one can be read like by itself and still be fantastic because it wraps it up in a nice little bow. This just gives an additional story. It's like another episode. Instead of a cliffhanger episode of to be continued, it was like, okay, cut to the next day. Now here's a new adventure on a sitcom. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. How Friends had
there's some standalone portions.
Exactly. That's what it was like. Mm-hmm. In the second book in the saga set 3,000 years after the terrible war, Ender Wiggin is reviled by history as the Xenocide, the destroyer of the alien buggers. Now, Ender tells the true story of the war and seeks to stop history from repeating itself. In the aftermath of his terrible war, Ender Wiggins disappeared and a powerful voice arose, the speaker for the dead, who told the true story of the Bugger War. Now, long years later, a second alien race has been discovered, but again, the aliens' ways are strange and frightening. Again, humans die. And it is only the speaker for the dead, who is also Ender Wiggin, the Xenocide, who has the courage to confront the mystery and the truth. Speaker for the Dead, the second novel in Orson Scott Card's Ender Quintet, is the winner of the 1986 Nebula Award for Best Novel and the 1987 Hugo Award for Best Novel. And I believe they deserve that. Every award that he's gotten for these books that I've read about so far have earned those awards. They finally, a book that earns the awards that it's given. Crazy how that works. Imagine. I know.
Imagine.
Yeah. It's been 3,000 years since the first one, but Ender's only 38, 39-ish because he travels so often between these different worlds at light speed. A week will pass for him. 7 years have passed if he's traveling for a week because he's traveling at light speed.
So how many years is this in the future?
This is 3,000 years in the future.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he's traveled that much because he is the speaker for the dead. He goes and he tells these people's story, the full story, the good, the bad, the ugly.
Okay.
He tells their story so that they are remembered accurately. And obviously, you know, he's called to different places. And in the time it takes him to travel to different places, maybe they no longer want somebody there, but he's there anyway. And, I mean, it takes years to get to these places in their time. So the one who calls him this time is a girl who lost a man that was like her dad. But then she didn't want to unveil his secrets, and so she canceled it. Well, he showed up anyway, and it ended up being around the time she had gotten married and had children. I think she had 6 children, and it was the man that she married that had died recently. And so he was the speaker for that dead man. He was abusive. He was he was a recluse, and Ender had to learn all this about him to be able to portray it accurately, his memory. Mm-hmm. And it was like, oh my gosh. And it's such a touchy subject because he was so abusive, but only to the mother, like never to the children. He was more neglectful toward the children, which is still not good. I mean, that's still bad, but he got like abusive with his wife. And he put it all out there. So in that 3,000 years, they see Ender as like this terrible human who killed all the aliens and everything when he was 12. You know, and so he's got this bad life, but nobody knows that it's Ender. Nobody knows that they're one and the same because it's been 3,000 years. They're like, there's no way he's still alive. He just rebranded and he's still out there. And they actually like the speaker for the dead. They didn't like Ender the Xenocide, you know? Mm-hmm. He speaks all of the truths, which is uncomfortable, but ultimately helps bring healing to everyone. Orson Scott Card had another note at the end of this. It wasn't the 50 minutes like last time, but it was about 8 or 9 minutes. He said that this was the original book that he was wanting to write. Ender's Game was like the prequel to get to this point. This is the one he was excited about.
This is kind of like How to Kill a Mockingbird, or
To Kill a Mockingbird.
To Kill a Mockingbird and Go Set a Watchman.
Okay. Okay, yeah, where the main story that he was wanting to get to was this one, but needed the backstory first. And so it was
I'm
awesome.
gonna back up there. Which one is the? And which one's the prequel? I haven't read both. I've only read To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh, To Kill a Mockingbird was the prequel.
Okay,
And Go Set a Watchman was the one she wrote. Go Set a Watchman, and the publisher was like, "We like it. We think that we need more about like Scout's life."
Okay,
so she wrote about Scout as a child, and
that's the one she's most known for.
Yeah,
not the second one.
Yeah,
interesting.
That is interesting.
I have it on my bookshelf. I need to read Go Set a Watchman now.
It is tough.
Is it?
It took me a hot minute to get through.
And for how much you like To Kill a Mockingbird,
she changed. It's crazy how it's almost like different people she wrote about.
I gotcha. I gotcha.
Anyway, sorry.
Oh no, you're good. He did have a note. He said that the main reason he wanted to write this book is because he went to a funeral for a man that was abusive, and he had the pleasure of knowing the woman, and he said, she was very frank with me about the abuse and how she couldn't she wanted to get away from him so bad. But then when we got to the funeral, she was like crying over his casket and like was saying how wonderful of a man he was. When Olson Scott Card knew the truth about her feelings, like this was her out, really. And he knew that, but here she was kind of like putting on like she was what everybody expected her to be because nobody else knew about the abuse, so they were expecting a grieving wife.
You still love your abuser. In fact, you may love your abuser even more than most people would.
But
Stockholm.
Yeah. But it's like
you think that you can't have anybody else,
right?
That you think that's all you deserve.
Yes, exactly. And so he was like, it was almost like she was trying to erase that part. He said, I think it's very important to remember the bad things as well, so they have an accurate representation after their death. And that was the whole point of this book, is everybody deserves an accurate representation of who they were in life when they're dead. And that's beautiful to me. I love that, actually.
Yeah. I want you to call me out when I'm dead. If I did
call
something, call me out.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I've got to outlive both of you.
Make sure people know there was bad with the good.
I've got a list.
Just like there was good.
Real things. I can't make up stuff.
No. Like for this one,
that's the whole point. We were just talking about it.
I got excited. Sorry.
There was good mixed in with the bad with this guy. Even though he was abusive, there were good moments that needed to be addressed. So yeah, it's very important. So I gave this a 4 out of 5. It is on Libby. It is $9.99 on Kindle though, if not that. And then to finish off the month, I'm going to group these two together.
Yay.
The Lightning Thief and the Sea of
believe
Monsters.
That y'all didn't read this as children.
I'm so mad that I didn't. You don't understand how angry I am.
I wish I believe it.
Yes. Rick Riordan. Oh my God.
I've been saying it wrong the whole time.
I might be saying it wrong.
I've always said Rick Riordan.
That's what I've said.
Riordan.
Okay, so maybe I'm saying it wrong.
I never pronounce names correctly, so that's not in her favor I said it that way.
It looks more like Riordan.
Yeah.
I called Zayden.
Yeah.
Like, what's it? How do you actually say it?
Zayden.
No, his last name.
Ryerson.
Oh, Ryerson.
Is it Ryerson?
That is why I read
I called
Ryerson.
him Roars.
I do remember that.
Or something
Riorson,
like that.
yeah.
Yes.
I called him Riorson. So
maybe that's where I'm getting that pronunciation from.
Maybe
Ryerson and Riordan. So I listened to the first one, which is The Lightning Thief. Also, I don't know if I finished saying it. This is the Percy Jackson series. So I read the first one, The Lightning Thief, on the 29th and 30th on Libby. You have every right to yell at me for not reading these books.
It is so good.
In like middle school and high school.
Mythology.
I read the first one.
I love
Yes,
it. Yeah.
I love mythology. So the fact that this went under my radar, I deserve to be yelled at.
Now, the first book, that is the one where they go into the casino, right?
Yes. The like kid casino where time stops.
That thought is just...
Yes.
Ticks so many boxes in my brain where I love that.
That is a kid's dream almost.
Yes.
Let's go into an arcade and just play games all never age. Just have fun. Unlimited games and unlimited food and drinks. Sounds amazing.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
But
and the fact that it like almost like it was like y'all have read it, right? Where it's like they had so much time to get there and they were like,
oh my God, it is the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
so funny.
How perfect.
Yes, yes. And then the way he loops it back in later on in the series.
know.
We're not going to talk about that yet, though. So I did discover that this is the most under wraps storyline I've ever come across. I had no spoilers. Here's what I knew about this series. It incorporated Greek mythology. His dad is Poseidon. There is a character named Annabeth. That is what I knew. Like, that is it. How it's been out since, this has been out for 20 years. Yep. And that's all I knew about this series as
My
a
name is
whole.
Rick Riordan. I'm the author.
Riordan. Yes. So
Dang it. My whole life has changed.
20 years. So yeah, honestly, like, hats off to the Percy Jackson crew, because y'all kept this
One movie and a TV show
y'all,
about the Percy Jackson series, and y'all are just
y'all kept this
I will let you
sealed.
know, they not necessarily that they kept it sealed. I guess because we've never mentioned it, our algorithms have never pulled it up, because now that we've talked about it, it pulls
more?
to my TikTok and Facebook all the time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I've still got 2 more books to read, so I better watch the spoilers now. But yeah, that's all. I'm impressed with this fandom for keeping that under lock and key like that. Congratulations, guys.
I had such a crush on Percy Jackson whenever I was a kid.
He's so
2010.
sassy.
2010 Percy Jackson from the movie.
Show the pic.
Yeah.
Logan Lerman.
Oh,
Show it.
yeah. He was the perfect Percy Jackson. I will say that. What I did hear about the movies was that they sucked.
Yeah,
So
they were bad.
I think I'm going
I
to...
like the first movie. I never watched any more than the first.
Okay. What my friend Allison, shout out Allison, has recommended is to, she said the TV show does a lot better
Yeah.
as far as staying true to the story.
Yeah.
She said the
Well,
movies
you
are
have
trash.
more time.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
I like
exactly.
Grover better in the movie. I had such a crush on Percy Jackson back in
Yeah.
I did too.
He was the movie crush.
Yeah.
I mean,
He
But
has the
I liked
beaver
Grover
hair.
so much better in the movie than I do in the TV show.
Gotcha.
I watched both.
Really?
gotcha.
I'm a Percy Jackson gal.
I am now.
Yeah.
For those of us who don't follow us on social media, I made a post after I read the scene where Krusty tied Annabeth to the bed, and I had a momentary lapse where I forgot this was young adult, and I was like, I am not mentally prepared for what's about to happen. It didn't happen because it's young adult, but that's the initial thing that went through my head, and I was like, good Lord.
Yeah.
I was genuinely scared, and then I was like, wait a second, no, little kids are reading this. What
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's there to be scared about? I'm fine.
Then she put the song Labor behind it.
Yes. I gave this a 4 out of 5. It's a 4.31 overall with 3.28 million ratings, which is insane. Amazing. It is on Libby. It is $6.47 paperback is the cheapest option. At least it was at the time. That was a 28% off deal that was going on. So I don't know if that's still happening.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, and
Moving
then The
on.
Sea of Thieves was the second one. I read on the 30th. Finished the month with it. Percy Jackson is so sassy, and I love that. That is the level of sass I would have wanted to have at that age. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's perfect. Like, he does not care in the slightest. The big monster. Oh, what are you gonna do? Like, bro, that's a cyclops. Like,
The hormones were clearly raging.
he just had all the teenage angst, and
Yeah,
he
he's
was
like-
letting it out on this cyclops. That's like 7 times his size.
Cyclops like, I'm gonna eat you.
It's so great. It's so great. I love the underlying call to action on all these books about cleaning up our planet. Like in the first one, it was like they were talking about, oh, we could travel through the Hudson River, but it's so filthy that no creatures will come and transport us. They don't want to be in this water because it's so filthy. And at one point, Grover looks out and there's like,
Yeah, Grover is very eco-friendly.
yes, he looks out and there's like a whole bunch of trash everywhere, and he's just like, this breaks my heart. And I was like, it's so good to subtly put that in there for kids, because then they're thinking Grover wouldn't like this.
Yeah.
It's
whatever helps.
Yeah. It's genius, really. Also, in this one, very soon after this, I saw a video online that was at one of the, not plastic surgery, but like lip filler, Botox places. It was the reception desk. Somebody was bringing in their 12-year-old daughter to get lip filler because she's an influencer. 12-year-old daughter.
My mom was afraid to let me get highlights at 12
Yes!
years old. I wanted highlights.
I remember
so
that
bad.
because you were like, Casey got highlights.
Yes.
So, like, I saw that very soon after this, and it made me think of this book again, because in this book in particular, there is a scene where it is heavily promoting that you love yourself the way that you are. And remember that your qualities are unique and they are you. Don't try to change yourself because it's going to end up terrible for you. You might turn into like a little gerbil. Maybe. I'm just saying. Just love yourself the way that you are. You know, and I love that message, especially for the age group of the people that are reading this. Because it is like that 12-year-old girl, her mom taking her to go get lip filler.
That's just a bad mom.
Yes.
Hey, we don't like to mom shame. I'd rather slut shame than mom shame. But
But that one is...
Do I have to do
drastic. Either? That's drastic. Another good message, and this is the last thing I'll say about it, another good message that's in it is Annabeth being willing to face her biggest fear. Her biggest fear.
I don't remember that much about the second book. They all kind of blended together because I read up to the 5th or 6th book.
Gotcha.
So.
Gotcha. Well,
And I was
she
like,
faces...
I'm too cool to
her biggest... I'm not too good. I'm loving it.
I'm too cool to read. And then Twilight came out like 3 seconds later.
Yep. Twilight.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This is the skin of a killer, Bella.
Yeah, so she's willing to face her biggest fear to save her friend. And I'm so proud of her. It was like a proud mom moment. I was like, you go, honey. You're doing great, sweetie.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to bring the Percy Jackson series to the beach with me.
Heck yeah.
I love Percy Jackson.
And they're so quick.
I haven't read them, and I think I read them whenever me and Aaron first started dating again, but I only read the first one.
Okay.
So
they're such
yeah,
they're
I'm
such
going to go to
quick
McKay's
reads.
and get the whole set because I think Mom has the full set.
Yes. So I gave it 4 stars on this one too, 4.24 overall, with 1.29 million ratings. Crazy. It is on Libby. It's $6.99 on Kindle.
Whoop.
So whoop 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 whoop. And that finishes the month, ladies.
That was
we did it.
honestly.
We did it.
Honestly, that was pretty quick.
That was pretty quick, considering. Plus,
You're
with how much
welcome
we got
for only reading one.
You've done your part.
I did my part to help
We
us
didn't
out.
have a mini-sode thrown in.
Right. No mini-sodes this time. So, all right. But we want to know what you read for the month of April. We're a little bit behind, but we want to know what you read for the month of April. So drop us a comment down below. Have you read
What was
any
your
of these
favorite?
books? What was your favorite?
least favorite?
Yes.
Let us know.
Let's start a conversation. Just drop a comment down below. Come find us on social media. We've got Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We are on Threads now.
Yay. We do have Lemonade.
Okay.
Which I haven't done anything with Lemonade, but
I think I've tagged
okay.
some
Did you?
things.
I
Yeah.
just created it.
I've tagged some things. Getting people
yeah.
getting the name out.
Yeah. So come find us on one of those platforms. We've got an email, theunfinishedtbr@gmail.com. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. And I think Spotify is about to start. They've put out a beta version of putting just clips up.
Yeah.
So
Oh, cool.
might get more clips coming to Spotify if you're a Spotify listener. But until then, everything's on YouTube as well. So come hang out with us wherever you choose to. We just want to say hey. So we will see you next week. Love you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.